Hey, fellas. Welcome to Southwest Titans Fantasy Football League Week 5 recap, Week 6 preview. We have a new stud of the week, Purdue fans, with the highest score so far this season, putting up 168.7 to defeat Shake It Golf, who he had a respectable 145, but Purdue fans was just too much. Purdue had 6 in double figures, but all of them were huge. 36 from Jamar Chase, 27 from Kyler Murray, 23 from the Minnesota defense. Shake It Golf, again, had a respectable week. He had 6 in double figures, led by the Chicago defense and DJ Moore with 23 each. Garrett Wilson added 16, which I watched that London game. I mean, he was basically Rodgers' only target that game. Rodgers started very poorly. At least he did have some good connections with Garrett Wilson to get Shake It Golf some points, but Rodgers ended up with 3 interceptions and didn't come on until like the second half of the game. But anyway, Purdue Fins wins his second in a row and moves to 4-1 into fourth place, and Shake It Golf lost his second in a row. He dropped to 2-3, but is in sixth place, so he's still in the hunt. Second highest score was Mighty Coon Dogs. Boo! Having his best week of the season so far. He defeated IH Braves 160 to 141. Again, just like Shake It Golf, IH Braves had a good week. But Mighty Coon Dogs had 8 in double figures, including 50 from Joe Burrow. Wait, is that right? 50? Yep. He had almost 400 yards, 5 TDs, and 2 40-plus yard plays. Well done, Mr. Burrow and Mighty Coon Dogs. Ice Braves had 6 players in double figures, led by Jaden Daniels with 26. His Washington defense with 24. He did get some points out of Nico Collins, but he took a big hit. He was out and he got injured, and it looks like now he's on injury reserve. So that's going to be a challenge for IH Braves moving forward. But after an 0-3 start, Mighty Coon Dogs wins his second in a row, moves to 2-3, and is in eighth place. And IH Braves lost his second in a row and dropped to 2-3 and is in seventh place. That takes us to our third highest scoring team this week, FAFO. He knocked off Marinos Mafia 153 to 140. Again, this week this was our highest scoring week by far so far this season. Actually, we've been well below average for 3 out of the first 4 weeks. This is our highest scoring week, and you can see that in the scores. FAFO had 7 in double figures, led by Jordan Love with 26, and his Denver defense with 22. And it just seems like every week, FAFO's 3 individual defensive players are all in double figures, which is solid. And that trend continued in week 5. It's always good. I like that strategy. I like to have at least some core guys that you can count on every week to get double figures, just to help stabilize your scores. And again, Mafia had a very solid week. He had 8 in double figures, led by Brian Thomas Jr. with 21. Josh Allen was down. He just had 18. But then his kicker, I believe, had 17. And then he also had all 3 of his individual defensive players in double figures. So, a great week for Mafia. Just FAFO was too much to overcome. FAFO wins his second in a row, improving to 4-1 and moved into second place. And Mafia slipped to 3-2, but is still in good shape in fifth place, in my opinion. Crap! I'm out of beer. Wait a minute. I'm sure I got one stashed around here somewhere. Let me check my pocket. Oh, found one. Oh, we're good. Crisis averted. I always keep beer stashed around my house just for just such emergencies. You never know. Is this one still cool? Still good. All right. Takes us to Cowpokes versus D's Nuts. It's a lot closer. Again, D's Nuts had gotten off to a good start, but Cowpokes got the slim win over D's Nuts. D's Nuts had his best week of the season so far, but came up just short, 144 to 139. Both teams were well balanced with 7 players in double figures. Cowpokes, he just had a little bit more in the tank to get the job done. Cowpokes remains undefeated at 5-0 and stays in first place, while D's Nuts remains winless at 0-5 and is in last place. Better luck this week, Ryan. Oh, wait. I'm playing you. Never mind. I hope you suck. This next one I've been keeping an eye on all week because Tuesday morning it showed that Hey Fellas had defeated Ozark by .26. And at some point, I think on Thursday, I checked it, I think Thursday morning, and it still showed the same. But at some point, maybe Thursday afternoon, there was a 2-point adjustment, but it was in Hey Fella's favor. So he got the win by 2.26, defeating Ozark 129.68 to 127.42. Ozark had 43 from Lamar Jackson, but then had 0 from Devin Singletary, which ended up being, I think, the factor there to get him the loss. Hey Fellas had 5 in double figures, led by Darnell Mooney with 22.5, and he was also solid with his team defense and individual defensive players. This was Hey Fellas' first win of the season, putting him at 1-4, and he's in 10th place. This was Ozark's first loss of the season, putting him at 4-1, and he dropped from first to third place. Still in great shape. Now, that covers all the highest scoring teams in week 5. Let's talk about the 2 lowest scoring teams in the league. That would be myself and Tebow United. But it was also the largest margin of victory, which is pathetic. I got the win over Tebow United, 107-77. Yeah, it takes skill to win in fantasy football, but also it takes a little luck every now and then. And with McCaffrey still out and not sure if he'll even play this season, I'm just trying to stick around 500 if I can. So I'll take it. Tebow's the only team I would have beaten in week 5, and I happen to play him, so I'll take it. I improved to 2-3 and in 9th place, while Tebow United dropped to 1-4 and in 11th place. So that takes us to our preview for week 6. We have 2 big games this week: Battle of the Bros and the Mega Bowl. Battle of the Bros, number 1, Cowpokes versus number 4, Paducah Fins. Cowpokes is undefeated, but Paducah Fins is right there at 4-1. And he just had the league's highest scoring week last week. Head to head, Paducah Fins has the advantage 3-2. Median points, Paducah Fins with a slim margin, 143 to 140. And the projections right now have Cowpokes by 13. This one's tough. If not for one thing, I probably would have gone with Paducah Fins. And this stood out to me just because I have Jalen Hurts. Cowpokes gets A.J. Brown back this week, who had like 19 or 20 points in week 1, and he hasn't played since. With him coming back and his huge potential for scoring, I'm going to give the edge to Cowpokes to remain undefeated. But there's hope, Paducah fans, because GW disagrees, and he thinks the other bro, Paducah fans, will win. Number 2, FAFO versus number 8, Mighty Coon Dogs. Head to head, Coon Dogs with the advantage 3-2, surprisingly. But then in median points, FAFO 130 to 121. Projection is really tight. FAFO by 4. I got to be honest. I really like Coon Dogs in this one. And I guess I'm a little biased because he has Joe Burrow and he just came off a 50-point game. But he's got Burrow, Bijan Robinson, who has not been great this season, but they're going up against the Panthers. And then he's got Sermon for the Colts, which Jonathan Taylor's ruled out, so Sermon's going to get a lot of work. And then he's got Shaheed for the Saints. I just feel like those guys are going to have a good week. And I'm going with the underdog, Coon Dogs, for the upset. But don't worry, FFO. GW disagrees again. And he's going with you as the favorite. Number 3, Ozark Mountain Daredevils versus number 7, IH Braves. Head to head, Ozark would have the advantage 3-2. Ozark, median points, 134 to 127. Projection, Ozark by 7. So it's a lot tighter than what you might have thought. IH Braves has lost 2 in a row. Ozark just had his first loss of the season, but it was by just over 2 points. I'm gonna go with Ozark to get back to winning in week 6. And GW agreed with me for a change. GW agrees. We both go with Ozark. Number 5, Marinos Mafia versus number 11, Tebow United. Head to head, Mafia would be 5-0. Median points, Mafia 135 to 87. I'm sorry, Tebow. I'm sorry. Mafia in the projection is on track to win by 34. My pick is Mafia. I'm going Marinos Mafia for the win. But GW disagrees. Going with the major upset and going with number 11 Tebow United for the big upset. So GW and I just not getting along this week. Number 6, Shake It Golf versus number 10. Hey, fellas. Head to head, Shake It Golf with an advantage 3-2 so far this season. Median points, Shake It Golf by a slim margin, 128 to 122. Projection, though, has Shake It Golf by 39, and he got off to a great start Thursday night. Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, their combined projection was around 17 points, and he ended up getting 37 from them. So that got him off to a great start. I know I'm cheating because it's after Thursday and he's off to a good start, but I'm going to go with Shake It Golf to shake off the 2-game losing streak and get the win. See what I did there? Shake it off. Shake off. But guess who disagrees? GW disagrees again and goes with Hey Fellas. Come on, George. What's going on? And last but not least is the Mega Bowl. Number 9, Rides Rabbits versus number 12, Deuce Nuts. Head-to-head, Ride with the advantage 3-2. Median points, though, D's Nuts has the advantage 119 to 112. The projection right now has me by 15. And I'm sorry, I'm due for a good game. I'm due. I've only had like one good scoring week this season. I'm I also got to think Jalen Hurts has his top 2 wide receivers back healthy. He's going to have a good week. And then I've got a secret weapon. I have no idea if he's going to do what he did last week. I was able to pick up Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars, who was like very impressive, but they're playing in London against the Chicago defense. But anyway, I'm going with myself. But guess who disagrees? Again! GW's going with these nuts to get his first win of the season in the Mega Bowl. All right, that takes us to Ride versus GW. Who even cares? Whatever. But last week I was 4-2 and GW was 2-4, which now puts me one game ahead at 12-12, and GW is at 11-13. Again, GW disagreed 5 out of 6 games this week. I'm eager to see what happens because that'll be one huge shift one way or the other. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. And for those of you that, like me, that have a 3-day weekend due to the Columbus Day holiday. And don't forget, too, we have another London game Sunday morning, 8:30 Central, Jaguars and the Bears. So stay tuned for that if you can. Have a great weekend.